because we're bigging up beautiful fillet of pork that we brown off in a pan with lovely chickpeas and sweet peppers and loads of chopped up chard. Now the great thing about this recipe, the pork, you can swap that out for lovely chicken thighs, no trouble at all. With the chickpeas, you could also use any beans or mixed beans from a tin, easy peasy, no worries at all. With the chard, you could use any greens, kale, spinach, fill your boots. What you end up with is a beautiful pan of food with a big piece of meat that you can carve at the table, juices, loads of veggies, get into the freezers, get into the cupboards and swap things out, guys. You're going to love this recipe. It's a real family pleaser. Enjoy. I'm really excited to show you a beautiful pork dish. Mediterranean inspired, you know, and normally fillets of anything are really, really expensive, but with pork, they're just much more affordable. They're lean and also lovely and juicy when you cook it right. I'm going to use a casserole style pan onto high heat. I want to season this pork nice and proper. So I'm going to season the board, just like this, nice sea salt and some pepper. And then I'm going to get that lovely fillet of pork, 400 grams right there, and I'm just going to drizzle that with a little olive oil. And then just roll it over the seasoning. And that little action does really push the seasoning into the pork, and that's getting hot now, so let's start cooking. Let's have a little hand wash. So let's get that straight in the pan. We're going to cook this for about 5 minutes. We want it to be lovely and golden on the outside, but it won't be fully cooked. But while that's doing that, I'm going to prep some vegetables. I've got 300 grams of gorgeous Swiss chard. It's so beautiful. Take the stalk out like that, so we can literally have a pile of stalks and greens, and it doesn't take any time at all. So we've got our greens there, beautiful, and we've got our lovely stalks. Let's turn this, loads of colour happening in there. While your pork's searing away, finally chop up your chard stalks. So this beautiful pork fillet looks gorgeous. Look at that, look at the colour. Fantastic. I'm just going to put that on a plate, and that's half cooked. So we're going to just forget about that for the moment. So now I'm going to add an ingredient that is best friends with pork, fennel seeds. And these are one of my favourites. Just want a nice heaped teaspoon there, and then I'm just going to put that in the pork fat and let them just fry. And while they're frying, I'm going to just put in these stalks. Okay, this is going to be the most amazing chickpea stew. And you can use tin chickpeas, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you see them in the jar, they're the most delicious ones. Slightly bigger and really creamy. They're often cooked in a simple vegetarian broth. And it just tastes delicious. You can use the juice and everything. These are grilled and peeled peppers. You get them in a jar. And then we're going to slice these up. And we can throw them in with our chard. Move that around. Absolutely gorgeous colours. And then we'll go in with the chickpeas and all the juice. So that'll flavour this really, really nicely. Now with the chard, I'm just going to roll it all up and just slice it up. And then in with these beautiful greens. And this is going to make the most lovely, simple stew. So mix the chard in and it will start to wilt. Then we've got this fillet of pork that's half cooked. And you've got all these lovely resting juices. So I'm going to place this pork in there and pour those juices all over the top. Then all I do now is just simmer that for about 12 minutes. Lid on top, really slow. This really is quick and easy cooking. Just turn your pork after 6 minutes to make sure it's nicely cooked. So this has had just about 12 minutes. Look at that, look at the colours. There's something lovely about cooking it all amongst each other. And I'll put that onto a nice carving board. So I'll leave that to rest for a couple of minutes. Now just serve it on a nice platter like that. This is for 4 people. So all I'm going to do now is place little parts in and around pan-seared pork and a beautiful Swiss chard, sweet pepper and chickpea stew. What a lovely steaming platter of gorgeousness. Look at this. Come on, let's get amongst it. I love the way this just works. And we definitely